Hey guys, and welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing my first ever Q&A video. I really like it when you guys ask me questions and everything, but I thought instead of answering them individually in the comments, I thought I would start making videos so I can answer them generically, so you guys get a better sense of me and who I am as a person, and you guys get to know me a bit better really. So I asked on my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram if you've got any questions to ask me, and I got quite a few responses as well as some YouTube comments. So I have picked a few of my favourite ones and I'm going to answer them in a Q&A for you. So that's the way we're going to roll today. Why did I click my fingers? The first question I have today is kind of a generic one. A lot of people have asked me this on certain videos I've done and in general, so I thought I would answer it. And the question is, am I fully blind? The answer to this is no, I'm not fully blind. I am blind in my right eye and I've only got central vision in my left. So I've still got some vision, but it's basically a bit like if you was to get your index finger and your thumb and to make a circle and put it to your eye and narrow it down a bit, that's what it's basically like for me. I don't have any peripherals, guys, it's just central, so woo! So yeah, anyway, the answer to this question is no, I'm not blind, I still have some sight. So yeah, just call me visually impaired or sight impaired, whatever you want to call me, but I am not blind. Next question is, how long have you been doing your video blog for? I have been doing my YouTube channel, technically I started it quite a while ago. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, maybe a bit longer, but my videos when I first started were very primitive, but I have slowly got better and my videos are improving, I'd have said. I've been doing it I think ever since, probably the end of 2012, start of 2013, so it's been quite a while. Yeah, I have been doing it for that long. I can't believe it. It'll be coming up, it'll be about 2 years. That's a long time. Next question is, how do you edit / record / publish your videos? And do you have any tips for how to do this if you're visually impaired? I use to record my videos. The camera I'm now using is the Sony HX400V and it is a bridge camera. A very good piece of equipment, and it just means that the lens is like a professional lens, but you don't have to take it off, and it's not like a DSLR. It's just one lens and you can change it depending on what you want it to do, so you can zoom in, zoom it out, and it's a really good lens. The lens on this thing's crazy. And I also use a little Samsung, I think it's the Samsung MV205 or something like that. It's a little flip camera. It's like for my vlogging things, and I also sometimes use my iPhone to vlog. And to edit them I use a mixture of Final Cut and iMovie, depending on what sort of video I'm going to make. If I'm doing a lookbook I might use Final Cut. If I'm doing something a little bit more basic I might use iMovie, or if I'm on the go and I just need to edit it as soon as possible, I will use iMovie on my little MacBook. And then obviously to publish it I just basically do it straight from iMovie or from Final Cut, and it will just do it onto YouTube automatically. I don't have to do anything, and then I can just go on and add a thumbnail, put a little bit of information, put a few like tags, and then you're good to go. So when it comes down to actually editing them and how I do it being visually impaired, I use Zoom to actually edit because I need to zoom it in so I can see what I'm doing. All I would just say is that if you're trying to do your own videos when you're visually impaired and you're not too confident with the camera, then just get someone to give you a hand. Like my mum's currently behind the camera doing her little thing, and then obviously I do all the editing myself. And all I would just say is, you know, just try it and find an application that works for you. The iPad version of iMovie is said to be quite good. A lot of my visually impaired friends use it and they like it, but just basically, if any of you guys have any tips and you're visually impaired and you make your own videos or you edit them, then comment down below because you might be able to help each other out and give some really good tips. The next few questions I have are from Instagram. First one is, if you could only ever use one app for the rest of your life, which app would it be? I have so many different apps that I like to use, and I'm always on my phone. I'm on it 24/7 and I use them for all different things, but when I think about it, if in theory I could only ever use one app for the rest of my life, it probably would be Twitter. The reason being is because Twitter's quite an interactive forum. You can talk to people on Twitter, you can put photographs on Twitter, you can see the latest news on Twitter, and it's more of an interactive space, and it's, you know, probably you get the most use out of it and the most enjoyment out of Twitter, I'd have said. So yeah, basically, and you can also tweet a selfie on Twitter, so everyone likes a good selfie. So if it was only ever one app I could use, it would definitely be Twitter. The next question is, what is your favourite makeup brand? And I was like, oh my god, because I've got so many makeup brands that I love and I use on a daily basis, so it's really hard to pick. but then I thought of all the different ones I use and how many I use and which one I use the most, and it probably would have to be Urban Decay. I have two of their Naked palettes. I have Naked 1 and Naked 3. I also have quite a few of their face palettes. I have the Naked On The Go palette, I have their finishing spray, so I use quite a lot of their stuff, and I like their brand as a whole. Their products are really good quality, and I find, being the fact that I'm visually impaired, they're very user friendly, so I absolutely love Urban Decay, and I'd have to say that they're my favourite. The next question is, what was it that first got you into blogging? Now, thinking about this, I've always loved writing ever since I was very young, and when I was a teenager I used to write articles for my school magazine. I used to write a lot of film essays when I was in media. I did a lot of things on film. I did a lot of things around costume and filming, like in that industry. My goal in life is to become an author. That is the big dream for me. I would love to publish a book and to write for a living. I've actually been a journalist. I've actually made money out of my journalism, so I have technically been a published writer. And for me, I've always loved writing, but I think the thing for me that got me into particularly fashion blogging, and fashion blogging as someone with a sight impairment, is because I started to get more independent when I got my guide dog, and I started to go out and to socialise more and to go to my favourite places and go up to London, and I liked to look a certain way. I like looking after my appearance, and I actually realised that people have a really bad conception towards sight loss. So they think that anyone who's visually impaired can't possibly want to take care of their appearance and can't possibly be interested in fashion, and it was a huge misconception that I experienced, and I thought, actually, this is something I could write about, and perhaps if I could change at least one person's idea of what a visually impaired person has in terms of their relationship to fashion, then maybe I can do a little bit of good in the world. For me, it was people's misconceptions that got me into blogging and wanting to make a difference. The next question is, do you do your own nails? I do, yes. I have a mixture of things. I am a bit naughty because I do use a lot of like stick-on nails and acrylics, and I know I shouldn't, but I am a person who types quite a lot and my nails do get quite weak, so I don't always have time to try and, you know, buff them and everything, so I just usually stick on some false ones or some ones that are like a bit have already been painted from Primark, for instance, or I might paint them myself. When it comes down to actually painting them when you're visually impaired, I'd say you need to get a lot of nail polish remover and cotton buds so that you can correct the mistakes you make, and I'd say also go with a brand where the nail varnishes dry quite quickly and are quite glossy, like OPI for example, or SE. I like their nail polishes very much, and yeah, just practice and just try to do it yourself. Just get used to the feeling of it. If you make a mistake, don't worry, just, you know, make sure you make time for yourself to practice the steps and to just keep going from there. But of course, if you're not confident with painting them, just do what I do, get some Primark nails, stick them on, and you're good to go. Jobs are good, and really. If you'd like me to do a video on particularly nail products that are good for visually impaired people, then let me know, because I would like to do that, and if you guys want it, then I'll do it. The next question is, can you read and can you still see faces? The answer to this is yes, I can read, but not for very long periods of time. My eyes get very fatigued quite quickly, so I can only read up to a certain point, and then I have to go to an audio book, so I tend to prefer to use an audio book as opposed to a normal textbook, or I use a voice over reader or something like that to read a book out to me, but I can still technically read. And as for can I still see faces, I can, but I have to be quite close to the person, so I have to be within a certain distance to them, otherwise it just looks like a bit of a blur to me. It's like basically my camera being out of focus. It's like that kind of thing. So if someone's close to me, then I can see their faces and I can say, oh, you look really nice today, or I like your eyeliner. But if you're not, then I don't know what you're wearing on your face. So just remember that if you ever come up to talk to me, you need to be next to me in order for me to see your face. The final question I have is in relation to my medical health condition, which we'll talk about in a video. I'll link it down below. I have Septo Optic Dysplasia, if you didn't know, and the question is, doesn't the pituitary gland emit the hormone which triggers the puberty as well? Did you have to start medication to induce it, or did your puberty start naturally? So I think for me, my puberty did start on its own, but it started quite late. I was quite a late developer, and I do have growth hormone deficiency, so I think they started me on that to try and get things going a little bit and to try and get my puberty to start properly, because obviously I wasn't growing and I wasn't developing, so things were just a bit awkward. So it was kind of belated because I started getting really grouchy when usually you come out of that phase and you're starting to get a little bit more mellow. When people were just starting to go out of that, I was coming into it. So I feel quite sorry for my parents, because the last few years I've been really quite stroppy because I think I've been a late developer and like my hormones are catching up with me. So that was my Q&A for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to take part in my next Q&A, don't forget you can tweet me or send me a message on Instagram or follow me on Facebook and send me a message. And anything you want to ask for me to answer, please don't forget you need to put the question in the hashtag Ask Fashioneyesta. I'll link it down below. So thank you very much for watching today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye! Your makeup, it leaves it all in place, and the fact that this is a cooling and hydrating one means that it will regulate your temperature. So now we're coming into slightly more warmer weather. It is really good because it will help your makeup stay in place and it